Welcome dear learner. This is Cyril Gupta, and in this course we will take you on a wonderful journey to YouTube ads mastery. Our aim with this course is to make you familiar with YouTube video ads and show you how simple and effective YouTube advertising can be for your business. Let's get started right away. Before we start anything new, we gotta find out the why. Why should we do it? Why should we do YouTube ads? YouTube has been around for a long time, even longer than Facebook, and YouTube ads have been around since a long time too. They were just not used by marketers. YouTube ads used to have a separate interface. You had to go to a separate place, a separate website on YouTube to advertise on YouTube. And most of the advertising done on YouTube was not from marketers like you and me. It was done mostly by brands whose prime objective was to reach, to advertise and just explode their brand reach, brand awareness, and not really seek an exact and direct outcome. Marketers like us, we want an outcome. We want a lead sign up. We want a sale. We want somebody to come and buy our offer, or at least share with us their phone number, their email address. That sort of outcome was something that YouTube was not designed or expected to procure, to make possible, but now it does. After Facebook introduced its targeting methods, it took the online advertising world by storm, and it ignited the imagination of smaller marketers like you and me, who had only been sticking to Google PPC till then, and they could actually come into Facebook and dominate it, target the exact people they wanted to target, and turn their advertising into direct ROI, direct sales, direct conversions, lead signups. They could do it all with Facebook. And when Facebook did that, it not just rose in the ranks of smaller marketers, not just the smaller marketers migrated to Facebook, but also the bigger brands. They used this targeting to target the exact demographic they wanted to target and better get the awareness they wanted to get. YouTube came on a little later into the scene. They adopted those practices slightly later, integrating YouTube advertising in Google Ads, and you could finally get the same kind of targeting that Facebook was offering, just not that good quality. But we'll come to that later. But theoretically, you can advertise with the same kind of interest targeting, the same kind of targeting that Facebook offers, and smaller marketers have discovered YouTube a little recently after Facebook has become more competitive, and now they're working with it more often. And I'm sure before long you will see that YouTube is going to be something major for every marketer out there, just as Facebook is right now. Of course, the most important change that happened that made all of this possible was the explosion of bandwidth. Bandwidth is now cheaper than ever. It's dirt cheap. People don't even think about the cost anymore. And it's on their phone. They don't have to sit on the computer to use the internet anymore. It's always with them. It's always in their pocket, and they watch everything they want on it. They can watch Netflix, they can watch Amazon Prime, or they can go to YouTube and watch the videos there. They don't have to think about the cost. They don't have to think about bandwidth. They don't have to think about throughput. They can get HD quality videos right inside their pocket anytime they want. And the accessibility has spread the influence. The accessibility has made it possible for everyone to be a consumer, really spreading the footprint of YouTube. YouTube is now ubiquitous. Everyone has it. In fact, right now, YouTube is bigger than Facebook. Would you believe it? More people are using YouTube than Facebook, and on a day-to-day basis, it's growing faster than Facebook. How fast? It's actually going double the speed. More than 2x the people are being added to YouTube than on Facebook on a daily basis, and so the distance is just going to get wider and wider. There was not a very long time ago when Facebook was supposed to be the YouTube killer, and as soon as Facebook was at the epitome of its popularity, people were writing off YouTube. But now the situation has reversed. YouTube is ahead of Facebook already, and the gap is widening. So why is that so? Why is that happening? It's because of the format, people are moving heavily towards video with the advent of the high bandwidth, and the gap has made actually a higher amount of inventory available on YouTube. But without the targeting options, without the advanced targeting that Facebook has, marketers have just not moved to YouTube in those many numbers. That's why ads might actually be cheaper on YouTube in most segments, in most niches, than Facebook, where you're paying more. It's because the inventory, the people who are watching the videos on YouTube, they are not being shown as many ads, as many marketers are not targeting these people. That's why you can get cheaper clicks. That's why you can get cheaper views. So if you've been an online marketer for a while, or if you've been an enthusiast even, you've certainly heard about Facebook ads. And if you're interested in advertising, if you've done any sort of advertising online, it's likely that you have done with Facebook ads with a varying amount of success. Some of you might have been able to make it profitable in the past, or maybe a very rare percentages are still running a profitable campaign. But for many of us, the experience is this: we had some successes, but later on the successes got lesser and lesser, and at this time the ad inventory on Facebook is very, very limited, and people are not making so much positive ROI. So let's very quickly compare YouTube and Facebook ads, understand these two beasts, understand the difference. So the content on YouTube is basically videos, and you cannot really do much with videos. You don't really do more apart from answering, maybe putting in a comment or a like or something like that. You don't really engage a lot. You don't engage very actively. So the videos are mostly consumed passively, unlike Facebook, where you have complete engagement, threads going on right below the content post. People are talking, people are answering, and the community is much more engaged on Facebook than on YouTube. Now Facebook also has more targeting options. It's because they know nearly everything about you. If you've been posting regularly on Facebook, if you've been liking a certain sort of content, if you have put in your interests, if you've put in your likes about the pages, if you liked some pages online on Facebook, they know a lot about you. They know what kind of person you are, what are your likes and dislikes. They know your age group, they know your gender, they know what you're saying online. They have built a pretty good map of your personality using all the content that you've given them, and they're using this information, hopefully not for any nefarious purposes, but definitely to target you with the right ads. That's why they have this uncanny ability to find people who are matching the interests that the marketers want. No matter what kind of interest the marketers have in mind, Facebook can zero in into the exact individuals who are matching that profile. Now YouTube doesn't do that. YouTube doesn't have all that data. They only know what kind of videos you've watched, what kind of videos you've liked, how many videos you've engaged with, and that's some information, but really that's not enough. That's not Facebook quality data about you. That's why even though YouTube now offers people the interest targeting same like Facebook, it doesn't work as well, and people who've used it, they've reported that it's not giving them the ROI or the perfect audience that they get on Facebook. That's why so many people haven't come back to YouTube or haven't come to YouTube in so many numbers. Now there's also a difference between the way Facebook and YouTube run their ads. So on Facebook, you are charged for impressions. So you charge for per 1,000 impressions. Even if people are not playing your ad, you're still charged. You're still charged if people see it. If just people see the post as they scroll by, you are already charged. While YouTube does it more rationally. They have something called True View, and they charge you for an effective view. So if people don't see the ad, you pay nothing. That secures you, that effectively increases your ROI, because you're paying only for people who have already seen the ad, who have already engaged with you in some manner, and that's a great thing to have. Now both Facebook and YouTube have now ads integrated into user uploaded videos. So publishers are there on Facebook as well as YouTube. Of course, on YouTube you've seen those ads a lot. Anytime you play a video, more often than not something pops up before it, the ad pops up before it. Of course you skip it, but the ad is there. Facebook didn't do that earlier. They were only showing the ad in the stream. They were not showing the ad before the video itself. They were not showing any pre-roll ads, but in 2018 they introduced it, and now both Facebook and YouTube have this inventory. Facebook has invited a lot of publishers to join it. A lot of smaller publishers are also joining Facebook slowly, little by little, putting their content there. And even though it doesn't have yet the kind of thriving ecosystem video publishers, creators like YouTube does, it's growing and the ad dollars are all there. Facebook wants more inventory. Facebook wants more people to see the videos on Facebook itself. That's why this is supposed to, or this is expected to grow more in the future. More publishers will be there, the ad inventory will be there, and the videos will have advertisements played before them or during them, just like YouTube. Now, the most popular Facebook ad format for videos is still the newsfeed ads. They appear when the user scrolls his feed. You have a dedicated ad complete with a title, a description, and a click that leads to the website, and people can choose to spend more time. They can choose to consume everything, the ad, the content, the headline, the description, everything. But that of course doesn't happen with pre-roll ads. That doesn't happen with YouTube. For YouTube, the most powerful ad format or the way of targeting is placements. Now, I talked about interest targeting on Facebook being the most powerful way because they have an uncanny and unusual amount of information about you, which YouTube doesn't have. So they've done the next best thing. They have harnessed the content creator pool. YouTube has a huge content creator pool who are very organized. They are producing content on specific topics. It's learning content, it's entertainment, it's anything that you can imagine. There is a content creator on YouTube creating content on that topic. So the best way to advertise and reach people on YouTube is not to do it by interest targeting, because that's not going to be accurate as Facebook, of course. The best way to do it is use the information of the content creator and target the content itself. So if you want to be making positive ROI, find the videos that are directly connected to your product, that are in your niche, and target, harness those viewers. That's gonna work for you, and that is called placements. And we're going to talk a lot about placements later on, so pay attention. This is the most important thing that you will take away in this course. Placements are going to be the thing that will redefine marketing for you on YouTube. So YouTube is a product from Google. It's in fact the most valuable asset that belongs to Google outside of google.com. It's also the world's second most popular social media site. So you can imagine the importance. It's bigger than Facebook now. And to advertise on YouTube, you have to go through Google Ads. So if you've used Google Ads before, things are going to look a little familiar. But if you've not used them before, well, don't worry about it. We will teach you all that you need to know. We'll set you up with the basics, and most of the things you can find easily enough. All the things that we won't be telling you about, they might be too advanced for you at this stage, and as you learn, as you grow, you will find opportunities to learn those too. Just to remind you, Google Ads is the one-stop shop, the central location for Google, where you can go in and advertise everywhere that Google offers advertisements for, and that includes on google.com, all the sites that are a part of the Google ad network. So all the sites where Google allows you to advertise or has a partnership with, and mobile apps. So you can advertise on all the mobile apps that are aligned with Google, that are partnered with Google, and you can show their ads on mobile apps. And of course, YouTube videos, so you can show your video ad on youtube.com, and also all the other sites that are a part of Google network and have chosen to run video ads. So yes, that's a lot of options, and this single interface, the Google Ads site, it opens up all the doors for you. So let's quickly dive in there, take a look and see how you can advertise on YouTube using Google Ads.